You are looking live in beautiful Salt Lake City, Utah on the live stream edition of the DNA Sports Recap. What's going on, AJ?
Not much, buddy. I'm just here to have some fun, talk some sports.
That's right. We are here, DNA HQ, as I like to call it here. My house, but
it's pretty much just Darren's house.
Yeah, exactly. But, you know, DNA HQ here, and we want to hear from you folks. If you're watching this live on in our live stream, please feel free to hop in the chat. Let us know where you're watching from, and please feel free to comment on whatever we're talking about, because we'd love to interact with you live as we go.
Absolutely.
So, yeah, lots of good stuff that happened this week in sports. You and I both went to the Utah game this week.
It was awesome-ish.
It was-ish. We'll definitely get into that. We'll definitely get into something I really don't like about how Utah handles their press, by the way. We'll get into that for sure. But once again, folks, we want to hear from where you're watching at. If you are watching this live with us, please feel free to jump in the comments, jump in the chat, let us know where you're watching. We'd love to, and you know, what you're excited to hear about. And we'll love to chat with you back and forth, all that good stuff for sure.
Bring it.
So before we get into the video, though, we got to do the ceremonial pre-show cheers. Cheers to you.
Cheers to you, my friends.
And for those of you who are monitoring this channel for YouTube, that's apple juice. For those of you who are not, it's whiskey. So
100%.
All right, and let's see here. We got our first comment of the show. Tammy Price, friend of the channel.
Friend of the channel, Tammy Price.
That's right. Jumping in, saying that she is watching from Salt Lake City. We also have another comment from Michelle McKinnon, coming in from Sandy. Appreciate it. Thank you very much, Michelle, watching from Sandy. And yeah, so again, thank you guys for joining us on the live stream here. We're gonna be talking some college football, some Utah Jazz, some hockey, and of course, you know, we need that sweet watch time. So we're gonna be talking some Shohei Ohtani, and you know,
if the guy would stop breaking records and just doing amazing things, it'd be a lot easier to not talk about him.
Yeah, but you know, it's what we got to do. It's our duty. Our due duty.
That works.
I don't know. It's our responsibility.
It's our responsibility
to do that for sure. All right. So you ready to jump into the podcast side of things?
Yep.
All right. For those of you who are watching on the live stream, what we do is we like to record the intros to the podcast. It makes editing on the back end much easier. So we'll just get into that, and we'll circle back with you guys. Again, feel free to chime in the chat at all times. We'll be interacting with you live as we go for sure. All right, so let's go ahead and jump into this. You ready?
Yep.
All right. Hello, Internet. Welcome to the show. Thank you for joining us.
The Utah. I already messed it up. Okay.
Sweet.
Let's preview University of Utah visiting Utah State.
In the battle for Utah supremacy, which team will win a ring first? The Utah Jazz or your Utah Hockey Club?
Is it me or you?
You can do it.
Okay.
It's your team.
And the NL West heats up in Major League Baseball. The NL Wildcard heats up in Major League Baseball. Let's break it down.
All that and more. My name is Darren. That is AJ. And this is the DNA Sports Recap.
Roll the intro.
How's it going, AJ?
I'm doing great, buddy. Doing great. I'm ready to get talking.
Let's do that. Let's absolutely do it. So let's go ahead and first start talking a little bit of college football, shall we?
Let's do it.
All right, real quick, we're going to jump into the chat. McKinley Cutler, let us know if you're in the chat on this one, because we're going to be talking a little bit about BYU here at the start. So let's go ahead and jump into that. So we'd love to hear from you. If you're watching live in the chat, if you're watching this live, please feel free to join us in the chat. We'd love to chat with you here. So let's go ahead and talk about college football. First, what I want to do is I want to do a little bit of coverage on BYU. Because I think what's coming up for them is going to be kind of a crucial game for them this week.
Oh, I agree.
So I do kind of think that they're on the fence right now. BYU is definitely, it's going to be one of those weeks where not one of those weeks. It's one of those years, second year in the Big 12. If they don't make it to a bowl game this year, I think Sataki's probably out of there.
Oh, I agree.
I think it's bowl or bust for.
Yeah, no, I think he is 100% in the hot seat. I mean, you can say it as a BYU fan or not, but I mean, realistically, this team hasn't done enough. They've struggled with any kind of consistency. I mean, even the defense hasn't looked great at sometimes for BYU. And
right.
I think it's going to be a huge season where he's really got to show that he can turn this program around, especially with his second year in Big 12 recruiting. I mean, I guess you can call it that, right? I mean, they've been knowing they were going to the Big 12 for 2 or 3 years now.
Right.
They're obviously in the conference now. He's really got to be showing that he can get talented guys in there and win some football games for this BYU program.
Yeah, absolutely. And let me go ahead and jump into some of that now. The reason why I think this is an important week for that is because this is what I think it's going to be. This is definitely going to be a trap game for BYU going into Laramie this week.
I agree.
So BYU are currently sitting 2-0 this week, going into their game against the Wyoming Cowboys there. They did take care of business against Southern Illinois, winning 41-13 in that game. So they got to be feeling good also about coming off of that win at SMU in Dallas, which was a huge win for them. Good on you guys for that. They were double-digit underdogs for that game, so that was impressive to see. So from what I saw on that, when I look back at the film and kind of what's really kind of the strong suit for this team is definitely their defense. Yeah, and key piece on this one, I'm putting an asterisk in this one for BYU when it comes to their defense. If their defense remains healthy, I can see them being a top 6 or 7 defense in the conference.
Yeah, they
are really good on the defensive side of the ball. When it comes to the issues I'm really having there is going to be why I think this is a trap game for them is, they're double-digit favorites going into the game against Laramie. I believe you had the latest line. What was it?
They were -11.
So they're -11 for BYU. So they got
11-point favorites.
11-point favorite, which it's strange. It's usually a half. It's just an odd number for sure.
Yeah,
it's definitely an odd number. But anyway, so heading into Laramie this weekend against the Cowboys, and they are needing a serious win. Laramie is. So this could easily be a trap game for them because they need to get a win in before they get into conference play. The Cowboys do. They got hammered against Arizona on the road, losing 48-7, which is, if that's a ride-in loss for them, they knew they're going to lose that game, but still losing that badly is not what you want to see.
Nobody plans to lose like that.
And then losing at home against Idaho, which that game kind of is an embarrassing loss.
Yeah.
So for them, they definitely want to get a win on their belt before going into conference play. You usually play some of these games there that you can kind of ride in a win there at the beginning of the year, and they just don't have that game yet. They should have had that game against Idaho. They didn't. So they're going to be hungry. And this is a team that, does tend to give Utah schools a bit of a fit, I
mean, this is a really talented football team. I mean, Wyoming these guys actually do a really good job recruiting. They're always competitive in the Mountain West Conference. They do, like you said, they do a really good job of just making it really hard for teams to go into Laramie and just kind of put it to them. The crowds get really rowdy there. I mean, I'm always impressed with the Wyoming Cowboys football team every single time I watch them.
Absolutely. Like you said, BYU is favored by 11 points on the road in this one. So for me, that could easily be a trap game. And they could obviously be looking past Wyoming to Kansas State that they have the next week, which is going to be their first in-conference game. So like I said, I really like their defense. Their wide receivers are serviceable as far as for BYU. And when it comes to their running game, the running game's good. As far as what they have, as far as like defense, we already talked about that. I really like their corners there. However, my biggest concern is definitely going to be quarterback play. My old man mentioned this to me when we were on the way over to the Utes game there, that he really didn't like how their quarterback, I think it's, I can't remember get that last name right, but it's Jake Retzlaff.
Yep.
Retzlaff. can never get that last name right, man. But he just has not played well. I mean, his QBR rating so far this season is 44.9, which is good for 82nd in the country. His completion percentage is 60.3 with 4 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. Like I said, I like the defense, so none of that's good, right? None of that stuff for him is good on the offensive side. That's just not going to get it done. And like I said, I really think the defense is what, got them the win last week at SMU. And their defense is actually well ranked as 32nd in the country. So BYU has a chance to win this game. Their defense is going to carry them, but I just don't have any confidence in that quarterback.
Yeah, and I think Retzlaff's probably starting to feel the pressure because he really hasn't been producing at the high level. Like when you're the starting quarterback at BYU, you need to be making plays. You need to be getting the ball up the field. You need to be commanding the offense while you're out there. He's got to start feeling some pressure from Jerry Bohannon, who is a USF commit at one point. He was committed to, he played for Baylor. This dude's really talented. Obviously, he had a bunch of D1 offers, and he's probably nipping at the heels, trying to get out there and get on the field and play some time for BYU because I'm sure he's feeling like he can help this team a whole lot more than Retzlaff has.
Yeah, and I think it all goes back to when they decided just to not announce the quarterback until literally the week of week 1. I think it's just been bad for them because bad for his confidence, bad for Jake's confidence in that. If your head coach is not willing to announce you in the at the end of training camp, how much confidence can you really have on that? We do have a comment coming in here from McKinley. I can relate, always messing up my last name.
Very true.
Yes, we always messing up your last name, McKinley. Appreciate the humor on that one.
The screen's very small.
The screen's very small.
so far away.
Yeah. Cutler, Coulter. I don't know why we got those two mixed up, but from here it's a little small. It's tough to see.
Retzlaff's right on the screen. We can
it's right here
really easily.
Probably could have practiced it a few times before the show, but no, not at all. But anyway, so we just want to cover a little bit of BYU football as we do think it's going to definitely be an important week for them to make sure that they maintain their bowl eligibility. They need to get 6 wins to be bowl eligible. If they can go into conference play 3-0, I think they have a good shot of finding 3 wins. There's also a good chance they can not win another game for the rest of the year.
I was going to say,
but if they can go in 3 wins, they might be able to have, that's good momentum.
That SMU win is huge, though. They weren't predicted to win that game. All the preseason predictions had them losing that game, and for them to go out there and get a good quality win is huge for the program. But like you said, I'm really concerned that they're going to look past this Wyoming team that's been stomped a couple times in this season already. And Wyoming's going to give it everything they have while they're out there. Yeah, BYU absolutely has to bring their A game to this. They've got to take care of business, start the season 3-0. And honestly, a 3-0 with a win against SMU, BYU probably starts getting top 25 ranking. They probably start getting a few votes to be a top 25 team in the country. At that point, you're undefeated. You've got a good win on the road, a couple good wins on the road. So they got to take care of business, but their schedule is not going to do them any favors this year. The Big 12 conference is tough. There's a lot of really, really tough games on there. So I'm excited to see how they kind of work through this one.
I do too. I think it's going to be a good game for them. We'll see. Let's see here. We got another comment from McKinley there. Less confident in BYU after game 2. Our defense was good though. Also, I feel like it might be in
play calling
on the offense. Very good point. Very, very good point. I don't really know too much about how the offense is called there.
Yeah, Aaron Roderick's the offensive coordinator for BYU. He was the former offensive coordinator for the Utes. And in the time that he was with the Utes' offense really struggled because he does not you can try to play a pass-heavy offense, but does BYU really have a pass-heavy quarterback? The answer is probably no. When your starting quarterback is a community college transfer 2 years in a row, you're probably not having a ton of confidence in that ability.
60% completion percentage,
which is great, but admittedly, I haven't seen any of these games, right? Yeah, but I'm guessing it's probably a lot of stuff into the flats, a lot of shorter throws that he's getting his completion percentage up on.
Yeah, I don't know. I didn't think that was a very good completion percentage at all.
60 is not terrible.
I know, but I'm 4 touchdowns, 2 interceptions.
And that's not a great start.
All of them came in the sad thing is all came in the Southern Illinois game. He didn't throw an interception against SMU.
Yeah, he had to play a good game. Yeah,
so that's good. It's good to see that. But Aaron Roddick. I remember, but they had an issue with him calling from the sidelines and not in the booth, right? If I remember correctly.
Roderick was kind of back and forth. One season he would be on the sideline. One season he was in the booth. But the Utes offense during this time, and this is again Travis Wilson, Jordan Wynn era.
Yeah,
the offense was never prolific, right? I mean, at that point, Utah's whole game plan was, we'll get 2 touchdowns and hold you to 1, and that's how we're going to beat you.
Yeah. I think Witt wanted him in the booth, but he wanted to be on the side. I can't remember how that worked out, but it didn't work out, obviously.
It didn't.
Yeah, so I just interesting, man. We'll definitely see what happens on there. Good week coming up for BYU, so we look forward to seeing how they do. We look forward to it for sure. All right, so let's go ahead and pivot on over to the University of Utah, shall we?
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, so let's do some takeaways from the BYU versus Baylor. Now, that's again non-conference game.
It's a non-conference game,
right? But I do think it does tell us a lot about how the Utah football team is going to play against some of, let's say, a tier of the Big 12 conference.
Absolutely.
I think. So why don't you go ahead and give your feedback on what you saw?
Yeah. So, I mean, this BYU
clean that out.
Next one. So Utah versus Baylor. The Utes obviously jump out to a pretty quick 17-point lead by the end of the first quarter. I mean, they end up blocking a field goal, returning it for a touchdown, and they looked pretty well to be in firm control of this game. And then Cam Rising running to the sideline to throw a pass, hurting his hand, and exiting the game.
2 questions on that. One, I know this guy's getting his money regardless, right? He's getting his NIL money. He's probably making $1 million a year minimum for the last 2 years, right?
Yeah,
that's probably what he's making. So he doesn't really care if he's making his money whether he's playing or not.
Yeah,
right. What is it going to take for someone to tell him just to slide or just to step out of bounds or just not try and run over the 300-pound guy in front of him? What is he doing?
I mean, on this specific play, he's running to the sideline just trying to get the ball out of bounds so that he doesn't lose it down. Right? He's just trying to get it past the marker. They end up reviewing it. They don't. I mean, you were in the arena. Everybody's pissed because that's
the second thing I want to talk about. But my first part is, why didn't he step out of bounds sooner? He could have avoided it
another half second because he's always looking down the field. That's all. That's just Cam Rising. If there is a play downfield that he can get another half second to get a window open or to throw somebody open, he is going to try to utilize every single second that he can. So that he can make a play down the field.
Someone needs to talk to that guy just to, you don't need to, you're going to win this game with Cam Rising.
You're in firm control of this game too.
You made it quite clear at this point that the offense could have whatever they wanted in this game. You don't need to risk your career for this game. Why is he, it's infuriating watching this guy play because he is so talented and you could automatically see the drop off after he came out of the game. The Utes could have whatever they wanted. Yeah, offensively with Cam under center.
Yeah, and with Cam behind center, it's a completely different football team.
Yeah,
because the fact is if you load the box and try to stop the run, they're going to throw it over your head.
Yeah,
if you want to drop 2 deep safeties, they'll just pound the ball right up the middle with Mekhi Bernard for 46 carries a game, and we may only get 3 yards of carry, but guess what? That's actually all we need.
That's all we need.
You know what I mean?
We'll control the
three
clock.
And a half, we're good with it. Yeah, we'll
control
just
the
burn
clock
this
for the rest of the game.
Yeah,
we'll score 1 touchdown, and you'll touch the ball once that whole entire quarter, entire half. But the other thing is that hit. I'm sorry, but that had to have been. I don't know anybody in that stadium that did not see that as an illegal hit.
It was really late, and
it's not the hit. It's
justification.
The push.
The justification is they initiated contact before he was out of bounds. And Witt's explanation was it looks like he pushes off when Cam's already out of bounds. And
that's what I'm saying.
Some extracurricular there.
Yeah.
I mean, I agree. And
the hit was before. It's the push after when he's already falling over.
Yeah. And I think the thing is if Cam doesn't get hurt on this, we never bat an eye at it.
Oh, I strongly disagree. Strongly. How much did we talk last week about when he took that hit on the first play against Southern Utah?
Yeah.
We spent 5 minutes on that last week.
Yeah.
You think this isn't going to be any different?
Yeah.
He literally gets knocked into a Gatorade cooler table. You don't think we're not going to talk about it?
I mean, I think if he's fine though, you just go. You just know that's who Cam is as a player.
Yeah.
I mean,
I don't know,
ultimate competitor. Again, he wants to use every single second to make sure that if he can get a play up the field, he's going to try to get it.
When you use the excuses you're an ultimate competitor and ends up costing your team a chance at the college football playoff.
Yeah, I mean that's a great point.
Because you can be the ultimate competitor all you want, but all of a sudden they have a gauntlet coming up, and we'll talk about it here in a minute. But they have a gauntlet coming up. If you're telling me what the deal with Isaac Wilson going into Big 12 play, that option does not look so sweet.
Yeah, because I mean, and just to kind of get back to the Baylor recap, right? We see Cam go down, we see Isaac Wilson head back out of the field, and correct me if I'm wrong, but didn't it all of a sudden feel like a flashback to last season?
Oh my gosh. I've never once in my entire life in a professional sports environment watched so many people. Once a player went down and went to the locker room, halftime happened. He came and the Isaac came out onto the field. Never once seen so many people pull their cell phone out so quickly. Like if you looked around the stadium, half the people were like, "What's going on? What's going on? Is he hurt? How bad is it? How bad is it?" And then when he then comes out on the sidelines in street clothes, everybody's head back down their phone. Oh my gosh, how bad is this? He's not coming back. How bad is this?
Yeah.
I've never once seen that happen so much. And I went and got a refill, by the way. Shout out to the University of Utah, by the way. Free refills on their drinks.
The lines are ridiculous, though.
Yeah, but that has to do with the fact that they were using the refill stations to refill the existing orders that are coming in.
Yeah.
So I don't know if they just didn't have a drink machine back there, but yeah, they were ridiculous. But
yeah,
I'd never seen so many people just talking back and forth. Oh, Bleacher Report's got this, or this is on Twitter. It was insane to see how many people were like using the internet.
I need to know right now.
I need to know right now, right? Scans were negative. Okay, great. So there was all that going on. But I think those two things. One, Cam needs to learn to not risk it all for that one play.
Yeah.
He's got a season to think of, and he's got a team counting on him. Two, to me, that hit definitely was definitely not kosher. I did not like that hit at all.
I don't like him taking it. I don't like it getting dealt either, because that every single player on the Baylor defense knows that Cam Rising is the key to the season for Utah.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, but you're watching and the offense very much turns into don't lose this football game, right? They go on a streak of running the ball, playing it very safe. We saw some good stuff. Mekhi Bernard had a few really good runs, but I mean, realistically, the offense couldn't manage to even score a touchdown in the second half. And it's concerning because Isaac Wilson is, for all we know, and all I think everybody else knows, the future of the quarterback position at the University of Utah. He's that guy. He's shown it. He beat out a previous 5-star recruit, a 4-star recruit. And he is supposed to be the guy that can come out on the field and lead us if we need him to. And so far, he hasn't done any of that.
Right. Right. Well, I've got two takeaways when it comes to this game. First, this team won Witt's way. Which, once Cam went out and we relied on the defense, which by the way is ranked 7th in the country right now, and I'm choosing it to view it that way, right? A lot of folks are talking about how the offense stalled out once Cam left, and I don't really see that's a knock on Isaac. I think it's more the coach Witt and Morgan Scalley chose to play the game this way.
I agree.
I don't think they opened the playbook to let him bomb the ball down the field and try to get as many points as possible. I think that they basically played it safe, exactly to your point. We're going to outscore you, and then we're just going to smother the ball the whole way. We're going to get a couple of first downs here and there. We're not going to push it to try and score more. We're going to let our defense handle it. And the second thing, my second takeaway, is that this team's offense does ride with Cam, though. He did get a few opportunities where he was in a position where he possibly could score a touchdown with this team in the second half, and that didn't happen. Right. The defense didn't score since he left the field. It was all in the defense. But the problem is with this Isaac kid, yes, he is going to be the quarterback of the future for this team. I think he's got the reins for that. He's got a lot of leeway, a lot of track to do so. They're going to give him some time on that. But it's hard to remember that this kid is an 18-year-old kid who wasn't with the program previous to April of this year. And his last time on a field playing competitive football was in high school. So, we kind of need to give this kid a beat. And if it wasn't for the fact that we're playing Utah State next, I'd be a lot more nervous. The reports coming in is that it's not as serious, but that's what I wanted to talk about. That's what I'm kind of frustrated with the University of Utah, is how they handle injuries. If it's not season ending, they won't report on it.
They don't report it. Yeah.
Which is absolutely infuriating. Do you know how hard it is to report on this team when you're scouring through Twitter trying to find any inside information?
Yeah.
When the source won't give you anything.
Yeah.
It's insanely frustrating.
It is. And I heard from somebody that knows somebody next to the team, and take it as you will.
Inside source. You heard it here first, folks, live on DNA Sports Recap.
Inside source is that it was just a dislocated thumb and that Cam will be back. Right. There's no concerns. It was just, or not a thumb. Forefinger, maybe his first finger, I think, because I think he had two taped together.
Yeah,
but it's just a dislocated finger.
I thought he had a cut too.
See, and that's what I thought too. And I don't know. That was what my source told me.
Okay.
So it was just a dislocated finger. Obviously, I got it put back in. you're going to take every precautionary measure at that point. You're definitely not going to put him back on the field.
No, I agree. You don't put him back on the field on there. The question is do we see him against Utah State?
I think so.
I hope we don't.
I think we might see him for a couple. I mean, I think it kind of depends. I think this game could very much go like the SUU game went.
Yeah.
Where Cam comes out and puts 35 on him and he sits the rest of the game.
Yeah.
And you just, I mean, this Utah State team just got absolutely hammered by USC. I mean, that was a really, really rough game.
Before we get into covering this game, let's go ahead and get through some of these comments. McKinley is just doing his thing there. So let's definitely jump into that. Let's see here. We'll go into this one here again. Defense and special teams looked good, but younger Wilson brother does not look ready to be the starting quarterback. The offense looked okay, but bad without Cam. Yeah, 100% agree with you on that one. You also followed up that comment with just getting revenge. He was just getting revenge for Utah player, that uppercut Baylor player with his helmet. Did that play happen before?
I think so.
So that yeah, okay.
Yeah, because it would have been right before that, I think.
Yeah, I remember that play happened and everybody called him. Everybody got so upset by it, but on replay,
it was clear. Yeah, it was clearly targeting.
It was clear targeting. Yeah, so he was kicked out of the game after that. Let's see here. There was that nasty targeting hit that looked like he was out before he hit the ground. Yeah, dude, it was bad. So yeah, definitely agree with you there for sure. I don't think they'll risk it with Utah State. Seems like they have a track record of injuring Utah and BYU players. Yes, they do. Very good point. Very good point on that one, McKinley. And yeah, I'd have to agree. I think the smarter play, I don't know. I just don't think you start him, man. I think you give Isaac the reins on this one. And then you got, what's his name, Rose, is QB2 on this one.
Yeah.
So he's, maybe he'll touch a football this year. Who knows?
He already has. He has taken his first collegiate snaps.
Oh, that's right. He did.
Yeah.
He did.
In the SUU game, he took like the last 3 or 4 to down the ball and
that's true. He's taking some snaps.
So he is officially taking collegiate snaps, which is better than we could say to start the year.
That's true.
I think a big thing. So I mean, jumping into Utah versus Utah State. Looking at this game, you got to look at what Utah State just did last week. They got, again, absolutely hammered by USC. The score is 48-0. I watched the whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, almost the whole game I watched. And the Utah State defense is atrocious. USC was running the ball all over them. Their quarterback, Miller Moss, looks like he's going to be a pretty solid player. He's going to be able to pass the ball. They didn't need any of that. They weren't showing any of their playbook. They were literally just handing it, going down the middle, 5-6 yards. And I could see Utah doing very much of the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
I think that Utah's offensive line is much better than USC's is. It typically is.
Right.
So Utah could very much command the game, with that point. And then I think once you get a lead, you maybe you open it and let Isaac throw the ball where there is some margin for error there.
Mm-hmm.
Get him some quality reps against Utah State's a good football team. They have talent on that roster, but Wilson needs to see some of that, right? Like he does need the opportunity to throw the ball and get comfortable throwing the ball. But I mean, my personal opinion is they need to give him some opportunities to gain some rhythm in some of these. Like they're calling down the field shots and expecting him to put it on the money like he's Cam Rising, and give him a few passes in the flat or some crossing slant routes or something, right? Like let the kid get a feel for the game and the speed of his receivers and gain some confidence. And if he can do that, I think that he has a good chance of showing that he is ready to be in this spotlight, because it's a big one, man. I mean, being the quarterback at the University of Utah is no joke.
No, it's not. And, when it comes to that, I think you hit on the key thing on my notes there when it comes to the piece that's updating this. And it goes back to that USC game, getting hammered by them. It was pretty much a run attack pretty much the whole game. They can do whatever they wanted there. And I think that's exactly what the Utes are going to do. And I think that's why you don't want to risk Cam. Isaac Wilson can just basically hand off the ball. They can run the football, give him a chance to do exactly what you want, which is run, get a chance to get familiar with those receivers and kind of just take the reins for this game. And your defense is going to keep you in on this one. So
yeah,
they're favored by what? Is it 20 points? On this one?
The opening line is Utah by 20.5.
Yeah. That's without knowing whether or not Cam's going to start or not. So,
right.
I just think that you just don't want to risk it, man. Even if he can play, what if he re-aggravates that finger or,
It's a great point, but I think if they do it, I think they say Cam is available, but we're going to give Wilson the start.
Right. Okay.
Because you want to let your fans know that that Cam Rising's good.
Mhm.
He's good to go. And then also give them the confidence that, we feel like Wilson should start this game.
Yeah.
Because of Cam.
Yeah. If they get in trouble, they get down early, then I can totally see them switching it up, but I just don't think, because you've got a gauntlet coming up for the University of Utah after when they open up Pac-12
the
play.
Next Big 12 play.
Sorry, Big 12 play. Don't worry, guys. We'll get used to that.
Yeah.
You did it last week. I'll do it this week.
We'll
both do it next week.
The next game against Oklahoma State is where the season may start and end. You know
Agreed.
what I mean? They can lose this game and still become conference champions, but that's a tough test. And maybe you're right for that exact point, is you don't go in there with anything but 100% Cam Rising.
I agree. That's exactly where I'm sitting on that. I just don't think it's worth the risk, and then after that, I believe you got, after them, you got Arizona State, don't you? Or is it Arizona? Arizona at home, or is it Arizona State?
I think they might travel to Arizona State. No, because if that's a road, they're like road and away. So yeah, they might be back for Arizona.
Yeah. So I don't, and it didn't look, our Big 12 schedule didn't look as,
it's not as daunting as the other ones are.
Yeah,
we missed Kansas and Kansas State.
However, the teams that we are playing are looking better than expected for these first 4 games.
Yeah, I mean, we do have Arizona State on our schedule. We do have Colorado. Colorado, we should absolutely dominate.
Yeah.
Arizona State is they're in a huge rebuild. Yeah, they had a big win against a crappy team, but are they ready? Probably not. I mean, Kenny Dillingham's done a great job with the Arizona State program, but they're not ready to compete in the Big 12 conference. They were picked last for a reason.
Right.
So, there is some games in there that are going to test the Utes, but I don't know if. Yeah, I don't know. My big question for the Utah versus Utah State game is who's going to be the starting quarterback, because Spencer Petras was who they announced as a starting quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
He goes out in their first game,
right,
versus Robert Morris, and then obviously they bring in Mr. Bryson Barnes. Go Utes!
That's right.
And he goes on to win the first game. Obviously, he gets hammered at USC, and it's funny because as we were watching the USC game, I was like, "Hey, Bryson Barnes is undefeated against USC."
That's true.
He was. He hadn't lost one.
Yeah.
So, especially at the Coliseum.
Yeah. So we have Oklahoma State on September 21st. That's the game that's going to make or break this season for the Utes. And then after that, you have Arizona at home.
Yep.
And then you have Arizona State on the road.
Yeah.
And then you have TCU at home.
Right.
So I mean, that's kind of a gauntlet, man. I mean, that's a tough 4 games to play right out the gate into. Yes, Arizona State. That one,
but you're still on the road.
You're still on the road, and I think that could be a trap game for the Utes, because they're going to probably be looking past to see TCU. So there's some chances there that they might. So I don't know. Everybody's kind of looking past that and saying, our schedule's not that bad, and BYU has a tougher conference schedule than Utah has. But I don't know, man. I'm looking at Arizona, who is in the top 25 poll. I'm looking at Oklahoma State, who's just right below us at like 13, and we're at 12. And then TCU, man, they're no slouch, man. They can, we have a history.
They were just
with
in a
team.
conference championship game or in a national championship game 2 years ago.
Yeah, exactly. So I don't know, man. I don't think it's going to be as easy as everybody thinks, and I definitely think that while the Oklahoma State game is going to be the key piece for this season, I don't think that's the only game we need to worry about. In the next 4 games. So yeah, I definitely think you keep Cam healthy for that. You just don't even risk it. Don't even put him in the game.
Yep,
against Utah State.
I'm curious to see what they do.
I think I don't know. I could see them going either way on that one.
Yeah,
for sure. We want to hear what you think, folks. Let us know in the comments down below what you think about your Utah football team. Do you think that Cam Rising is going to make a return at this game, or do you think he's actually still injured and is going to be out that game? We'd love to hear from you. Let us know in the comments down below for sure.
Yeah.
All right, let's go ahead and pivot on over to a little bit about. Actually, we're going to do a twofer on this one, aren't we?
Yeah, we do. So we need to run both the intros because we can cut the same video and put it on both channels.
Okay.
But hold on, we got to wait because I got to be ready to change the color.
Okay. Hang on a second here. So what we're going to do here, bear with us here on the chat. So what we're going to do is we're going to do an intro to the Jazz, and then we're going to do an intro. So we should probably word them differently too, shouldn't we?
No, I think you could just run them right next to each other.
Okay, that works.
Yeah.
All right. So in the battle for Utah supremacy, which team is going to win a title first? Is it your Utah Jazz or is it the Utah Hockey Club? Let's go ahead and talk about it. And then we just run this one too.
Yeah, yep, and then just run the next one.
All right. Perfect. All right. So those in the chat, appreciate you. Thank you for working with us on that one. We appreciate that.
That just saved us like 77 minutes of editing time.
It really did. It really did. Once again, folks, if you're watching this on our main channel, DNA Sports Recap, we did just launch our own channel.
2 new channels.
Our own. We're gonna do them separately. So I don't need that. But now, thank you. Now we have to make a cut. We just lost 2 minutes now of that 77 minutes we got.
That's like 12 seconds.
We did just launch our own channel specifically for the Utah Hockey Club called Utah Hockey DNA. This is where we're posting all of our Utah Hockey Club channel information. Sorry, this is where we're posting all of our Utah Hockey Club content first. If you have not subscribed to this channel, the link to that channel will be in the description below. If you're watching this on our main channel, DNA Sports Recap. If you are watching this on Utah Hockey DNA, thank you for watching the video. Please subscribe. We'll be giving away one of those sweet new Utah Hockey Club jerseys once this channel has 1,000 subscribers. Make sure you tune into that.
Yes, we will.
We also did just launch Utah Hockey. Sorry. You want to take this one?
We also did just launch Utah Jazz DNA. This is a channel specifically for all of our Utah Jazz content. All of it will be posted here first. So make sure you check out this channel. If you do like it, make sure you hit subscribe button. If you're watching on our main channel, DNA Sports Recap, make sure you check out Utah Jazz DNA. And make sure you subscribe to both of them.
Link in the description. All right, so let's go ahead and talk about the subject that we want to talk about today, which is going to be, well, I think you brought this up last week, and I think it's a great video idea. So we definitely want to jump into that. Let's go ahead and hit the comments first before we get into it. Sorry, I'm trying to use that mouse for this thing, and it's not going to work. Let's see here. Looking forward to the season, preseason, only 11 days away. That's right. For Utah Hockey Club, it's getting really close. Really close.
Yep.
Who's the first game against? The Flyers?
No idea. Totally missed the schedule.
The preseason schedule anyway. But anyway, so once again, folks, the video that we want to talk about today is kind of a hot topic. We definitely want to hear from you guys on this one. And this one is going to be which professional team is going to win a title first in Utah? Is it going to be the Utah Jazz or the Utah Hockey Club? So where are you sitting on this one? Which team is going to win a title first?
So I feel pretty strongly that the Utah Hockey Club has a much better chance at winning a championship well before the Utah Jazz do.
Okay, run your line.
I mean, the big thing here is in the NBA, the way you win championships in the NBA is to attract superstar talent into your city, pair it with superstar talent, take it to the finish. And the one thing that Utah has zero ability to do is to attract top tier talent. We never have. We're honestly, we're really lucky to have Laurie, being that he is a top 20, top 30 player, wherever you place him on that list. And I mean, even players like Jordan Clarkson for the Jazz are players that we typically don't attract and get to stay here in Utah for that long.
Right.
So, but the NHL is completely different. The fact is players want to play where you have a chance to win. And I think that an upcoming city like Salt Lake City, where they're obviously putting money into a new arena and, new team, like new players, this team has a huge chance to continue to build. They have a ton of young talent on it. And I think that they have a real shot at putting together a team that's going to fill the championship much sooner than the Jazz do.
Okay. I like it.
Okay, I'm ready. I'm ready. I know you got some crazy comeback.
All right. So, when it comes to which team I think is going to win a championship first, it's the Utah Hockey Club.
Oh,
Hands
you
down.
agree?
Hands down, it's the Utah Hockey Club.
Okay.
The Utah Hockey Club will be kind of a middle of the pack team for the first couple of years here because they have an insane amount of draft capital coming their way, as well as a whole bunch of young talent. However, it's, we're just right now, this team is already dangerous and already is going to be scraping in their first season, potentially being a playoff contender right out of the gate.
Yeah.
Right. Logan Cooley, Dylan Gunther, and also Matisse Michelli have only really kind of just tapped their potential already so far with the Desert Dogs down there in Arizona. And I really think that, with that, also they're projected to have $30 million in cap space next summer. And they aren't tied down to any questionable bad contracts like we have with Detroit or Ottawa for example. But their prospect pool is very high end on the offensive side. Like a lot of their young talent they drafted early on was a high offensive talent. Let's not forget about my boy Clayton. He's literally
Josh Doan, you know what I mean? If he makes the roster,
Doan,
we just talked about him, made a video on him last week, how he's a potential rookie of the year candidate.
Yeah, we just made an extension, our first extension with a key piece there as well. And besides that, we have a surplus of draft picks that can be traded to acquire win now talent over the next few seasons if we want to. If our cards are played right and all these moves they made, they signed so much talent this offseason on the defensive end.
Right.
Everybody they tried to get on, they made a play for, unless I missed something. Every player on the hockey side they tried to make a play at, they got.
Yeah.
What can you not say about the Utah Jazz?
Yeah, I mean, the Jazz missed on pretty much everything.
Yeah. Mikal Bridges, Drew Holiday. I think we even tried to get not DeMar DeRozan. Who was the other guy? We also tried to make a trade for
Paul George.
We also tried to go after what's his name? Damian Lillard. Over the last 2 seasons, we've made a lot of plays towards some top end talent in the trade market, and because of the player empowerment in that league, a lot of these players are blocking that.
Yeah,
nobody wants to come here, whether it be free agency, which we did on the hockey side, have a lot of talent come in, but we also did get a lot of trade deals, and it's just a different type of culture for the hockey team, and I hate to say it, but it kind of is that way. The NBA players don't want to come to Utah. Utah has a stigma with that audience when it comes to the NBA. When it comes to hockey players, a lot of these folks are from Canada, or they're from the Northeast in the US, or they're from overseas in Europe. They just simply don't have the same negative connotation of this team.
Big city. Yeah, absolutely.
Nobody cares about playing for LA or playing in New York when it comes to hockey. They want to get on a team where they can make the most money. And by doing that, they're going to be on a team that's they're going to have the greatest impact on being a winning franchise.
Yeah.
And that's going to be your Utah Hockey Club. Unfortunately, not the Utah Jazz.
Yeah, no, I mean, I totally agree. I mean, Utah just continues to kind of mess. Danny Ainge isn't helping anything. He throws out these ridiculous comments that he's going big game hunting. Doesn't fulfill any of that. So as a Jazz fan, you're feeling down in the dumps already.
Oh yeah,
it's
not even started.
We've been so frustrated and back and forth. And are we tanking or are we winning? Do we keep Laurie? Do we get rid of Laurie? And the fact is nobody has any idea of the direction of the franchise. They don't know if they're trying to win now, if they're trying to win later. It looks like we're trying to win just enough games so that we don't get a top 10 pick and we can convey it.
Right. Exactly.
I mean, that's exactly what it's looked like.
Timberwolves good luck on our 2025.
Yeah. I mean, it's just been horrible. But with Utah Hockey Club, you have these kind of stud young players. You've got some veterans you've brought in, like Mikhail Sergachev is huge. He's that big defenseman that they brought in that's had a great run in the league so far. And these got like this hockey club, you got to think, that every single hockey player in the NHL was watching how Salt Lake City was going to react when the Coyotes moved to Utah.
Mm-hmm.
And Utah absolutely showed out in that scenario. We were there. We tried to get inside. We didn't make it happen.
No,
but we were there. And that place was an absolute madhouse.
Yeah.
Everybody's so excited to have hockey here. And I think that, I mean, hockey is obviously very popular, way more popular than I think I realized it was. But the fact is you have a city here, a state here that is going to support every single move this club makes. And as a hockey player, that's exactly where you want to go. You want to go be playing in front of these massive crowds. You want to know that you have a home, you know what I mean? Like you have an advantage when you come back to Salt Lake City to play, because it's going to be loud and it's going to be rowdy and everyone's going to show up and fill that arena up for you.
Yeah.
That was not the case when they were playing for Arizona.
No, I think
5,500 people.
Yeah. Perfect example is you can look down south in Sandy and look at the Real Salt Lake.
Yeah.
What was it? First 3 years in the league, we won an MLS Cup here.
I think their first league in the year they won an MLS Cup, didn't they?
I could be wrong on that. Soccer fans, let us know in the comments.
I know it was 2009. I just don't know if that was their first year in the league or not.
Yeah, I remember that. I remember that how much this team just embraced. How much this state just embraced that team right away.
Yeah.
I was working in bars at the time, and I kid you not, if there was a Real Salt Lake game on, those bars were packed and people were super excited about this team.
I just went to a Real Salt Lake game just a couple of months ago, and it is packed top to bottom.
Yeah, they're not really competing this year that much.
Yeah, they were actually doing pretty good when I went. They were like actually on like a 4 or 5 match win streak.
Okay.
But but still, I mean, every single seat in that place was taken.
Nice.
I mean, we got tickets to the riot, like down on the one end.
Oh, that's so good.
And I had 3 kids with me, so we were
Oh, man.
definitely not going down in there.
Oh my goodness.
But it was crazy. I mean,
Yeah.
just the support for that team and that club was absolutely insane. I think that we're going to see that same thing happening. Utah supports its teams, and I think it's going to draw players in here.
Yeah.
We just don't have the big league, NBA stigma, like you said.
And I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's specifically just because of the culture, the NBA culture versus the hockey culture.
Yeah.
How much that's international talent versus not. And, I don't know. Maybe it's a shot to the city. Maybe it's just I don't know. But I think you and I are in agreement on this one. And I would love to hear in the comments down below. If we're
leave us a comment. Let us know what you think. Why does Utah Hockey Club win first? Why do the Utah Jazz win first? Let us know. Comments down below. I'm excited to hear some of these.
Yeah, it's clear that SEG nailed this one.
Oh, yeah.
When it comes to the hockey.
Yeah.
They nailed this. They got everybody they wanted.
He did his research too. I mean, literally that's what Ryan Smith excels in is market research. He wanted to know if the team was going to be supported if he bought him. And then he was willing to cough up the money and bring him here. And I mean, this is going to be huge for the state. It's going to be huge for the exposure of the state. And I think he nailed it.
I think he did too. They can miss the playoffs the first year, be a sellout every single game anyway.
And exactly. Every single game will be sold out.
Yeah. I'd love to get some footage and we'll go to a game. I think it'd be awesome. But yeah, man, it's just clear which one. They both tried to build a team this year. It's been well said that even Danny Ainge has mentioned in interviews that Ryan Smith wanted to start winning now. And so he attempted to make moves to win now, and he struck out on every single one of them.
Yep.
And now, we are where we are. I just think that the Jazz are definitely further behind.
Yeah, we have one player under contract for the next 5 years, and it's Lauri Markkanen.
Yeah, I mean, doesn't get me wrong. This doesn't mean the door's closed for them. I mean, the Jazz could easily get that. What is it? That Celtics trade where they got Paul Pierce. No, Paul Pierce was already the team. Was it Paul Pierce? It was Kevin Garnett and Paul Pierce and Rajon Rondo. And who else was it?
I think it was those 3 for sure.
Yeah, there was that massive trade that he got. There's definitely a possibility that we could trade a bunch of future assets to get there. But
trading somebody to Boston is much different than trading 3 players to the Utah Jazz.
Exactly.
Those are just completely different markets. You're completely different fan bases. And
you already got Jimmy Buckets willing to go to the Brooklyn Nets.
Yeah.
And why does he want to go to the Brooklyn Nets?
Because Mikal Bridges is there.
Because it's New York. And because they have the most cap space.
Yeah.
If the Jazz had the most cap space, shot to AM Hoops, he said he'd go to whatever team had the most cap space is the way he thinks. I guarantee you if the Jazz had the most cap space, he still would have said Brooklyn.
Yeah.
Almost guaranteed.
No doubt.
Yeah. Again, like you said, we want to hear from you folks. Again, let us know in the comments down below what you think. We'd love to hear from you. Let's go ahead and hit some of these comments. It's really cool for McKinley to jump in on that. Again, folks, if you're watching this on our live stream, please feel free to jump in the comments. We want to interact with you live as we go here. Looking forward to the season, 11 days away. We already hit that one. Next one is haven't seen May hockey games, but want to.
Yeah, haven't seen many hockey games.
Many.
Support.
Sorry.
Yeah, Utah Hockey Club. Absolutely.
I mean, we're right there with you, man. I mean, I watched the last few Coyote games.
Yeah, once we heard that the team was coming here, it kind of sparked our interest, and we kind of started supporting it. Yeah.
It did also help that we're going to be covering it.
Yeah.
The first game is first game in the Blues. Also, don't know enough about hockey to comment on who will win first. It's just you don't really have to really think about it too much to just realize what we talked about here, and that it has nothing to do with the hockey. It just has to do with the acquisition of talent.
Yeah,
the Utah Hockey Club year one has already done a much better job of retaining their talent and also getting in new talent.
And also the Jazz's lack of acquisition of talent.
Exactly.
Is a huge part in that.
That's a huge part.
Yeah.
McKinley also jumped in. Don't think they have their own arena don't think they had their own arena in Arizona.
That's correct.
And I think they might have been playing out of a college arena. Yeah, absolutely. It was the Arizona State arena they were playing out of. And it seated 4,600 people?
5,500 is what it said.
So bad for National Hockey League.
Yeah.
I know we're going to be like somewhat smaller of an arena for a hockey arena.
But we can, as it sits, seat twice as many people as that.
Oh, at least.
Yeah. I think it's over 11,000.
Yes. Check out our video about how changing the arena is going to change the face of Utah.
Absolutely. That's a great video.
And then we also have another one here from McKinley there. Pretty sure that's why the NHL was pissed. The owner was forced to sell
the Ryan. Yeah. Yeah. He couldn't. We did a couple of videos on this as well, McKinley. So make sure you check out the Utah Hockey Club channel. But yeah, realistically, he had so much time to figure out an arena. He couldn't make it happen. He was banking on a land grab that he could put an arena on that wasn't even properly zoned. And it was a big mess. They pretty much said, like, yeah, you need to turn it over.
Yeah, he literally walked away from the franchise.
Yeah.
Because this franchise went dormant. So the Phoenix Coyotes was still a team just without a home. It was dormant until he got the stadium figured out. And he'd have first dibs at expansion. And even then, man, he still struck out.
Yeah.
Bruce threw his hands up in the air and walked away from it. Like,
it was like nothing
later.
Yeah.
It's just, it is kind of embarrassing there when you see what proper ownership can do versus not. But again, here in Utah, hockey, it's going to be great. It's going to be great. It's going to be a good fit for here. And I'm really looking forward to watching some games and attending some games, hopefully. And if you're watching us on the Utah Hockey DNA, we will be giving away one of those sick new Utah hockey jerseys that we just talked about last week. So be sure to check out that episode. And if we hit the 1,000 subscribers on this channel, we'll be sure to give those away. So make sure if you have not yet hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell so you don't miss out on the giveaway, and smash that like button for your boy AJ right over there.
I need it. Thank you.
All right. And once again, on the Utah Jazz channel as well, Utah Jazz DNA is our channel specifically dedicated to your Utah Jazz content. We're looking forward to this season to see what happens, what Danny Ainge can do for this team going forward. We're looking forward to it. If you're watching this on our main channel, make sure you check out Utah Jazz DNA. The link to that channel will be in the description below. Be sure to check that out. We'll be giving away one of those sick new Utah Jazz black jerseys once this channel hits 1,000 subscribers.
And we're making great progress on both these channels. So thank you guys for all the support.
Absolutely. Really appreciate it. Keep it up. Keep it up. All right. So let's go ahead and pivot on over to a little bit about, scroll too far.
Too
far. Let's go ahead and talk a little bit about Major League Baseball, shall we?
Yes, I'm ready.
Are you ready?
Maybe.
Is it only 7 seconds long? These videos are only 7 seconds long.
I'm saying
pressure. Let's talk about, let's go ahead and talk Major League Baseball.
That's a great color change right there.
That is a fantastic color change.
You're welcome.
All right. So let's see if we can get through this with the lights out not dying on us this time, huh?
Yeah, we'll give it a run.
We'll give it a run for sure.
No promises, though.
All right. So really basically two things we want to talk about here. I don't know if you watched last week or not, but we're going to talk a little bit about what we talked about last week again. But first, let's go ahead and talk about what's hot in Major League Baseball, which is going to be the National League wildcard race. What the heck happened to your Atlanta Braves?
Well, they struggled. They struggled there for a couple games, man. They couldn't hit the baseball, and it seems like every few games they'll drop one where they can't put. I mean, excellent pitching support. They only give up 2-3 runs. The Braves can't even get one on the board, and when you don't have offensive support, and then they'll explode. I mean, just the other night they absolutely just detonate and rack up 12-0 and beat the Nationals.
That's insane.
So I mean,
and the game before that they go 0-1.
Charlie
Morton gets the loss.
Yeah,
because one run.
That's excellent pitching. You can't get him one run
on a sac fly. I think it's how they got that run too.
Yeah,
blows my mind. No, I think it was a wild. No, I can't remember, but yeah, no, I agree. It's just how baseball is around this time of year.
Yeah.
I definitely think in my opinion there. I mean, we've got a couple teams that are in the race for that. You got the Atlanta Braves currently sitting a half a game back right now of the New York Mets at the time of recording. By the time this video gets out, that could easily be changed and that could be switched.
They could be one game back because I think they just lost.
We'll be sure to check that out.
Yeah. Anyways,
but yeah. So at the time of recording, that's pretty much a hot topic, man. It's really between the Atlanta Braves and the New York Mets to see who's going to take that last spot.
Yeah, they're kind of back and forth. I mean, the Braves got at least one more against the Nationals, and then they got a tough series with the Dodgers coming up, where they're going to have to win some of these games to kind of stay relevant and stay in that race. And then obviously the biggest goal that they have against the Dodgers is don't let Shohei hit 50 and 50 while you're playing him. That's the only goal they have. They might intentionally walk him every single time.
Definitely. Well, you don't want to walk that because that's you better make sure
it's fine as long as he doesn't get 50-50 against the Braves.
Because if you put him on base,
yeah, you got to face Mookie, but Mookie's not in the 50-50 conversation.
No, but he can steal a base.
Oh, yeah, that's true. Yeah, then you're not helping.
Then you're definitely not helping.
Yeah.
But we'll definitely get to Shohei Ohtani here in a minute. But I definitely want to focus on this a little bit because I do think there is more hope for the Braves fans than what you may think.
I agree.
I don't think that the San Diego Padres and I do think the Diamondbacks will still have a wild card spot.
Yeah.
But the San Diego Padres do have a tendency to kind of implode towards the end of the year. And I do think that one of these two teams cannot continue to be as hot as they are. I think one of them are going to fall down farther enough for a chance for the Braves to have at least one of two playoffs wild card spots, not just the one.
Right.
I do think it's going to be Arizona Diamondbacks, Atlanta Braves, and the Mets as the wild card teams. I don't think the Padres make it.
Hey, the Braves are right where we want to be, man.
Yeah.
I mean, that's where the Phillies have been making their deep playoff runs, is, kind of like we were talking the other day.
Yeah, we mentioned it in an episode previously.
Yeah.
Watch every baseball episode we have on the channel to find it.
Yes, please. And make sure you watch the whole video start to finish. The end is where the good part is.
Yeah, and hit a like on that. Slap some engagement for us there.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I'd have to say that's exactly where you want to be. I mean, the Phillies have been a wild card team, barely scraping in and making it all the way to the playoffs there. I think the Braves are in a great position to really kind of have their offense wake up when it matters. In the playoffs, we know runs come at a premium, and what you need is starting pitchers. You need starting pitchers with strikeout stuff. I think the Braves have 3 or 4 good starting pitchers right now.
Yeah, they got 4. They got 4-ish, right? Ronaldo Lopez just hit the IL.
Oh man,
so he's down. But I mean, they still got Charlie Morton, Chris Sale. They got Max Fried. Spencer Schwellenbach, my apologies, because he's actually played much better.
You're welcome, Schwellenbach.
Yeah, he has played much better.
If we didn't put you on blast, you would have never been better. So you're welcome.
He probably watched the video 3-4 times, and he just took it to heart. And he was like, I'm going out there, and I've got to step up my game.
Yeah, he's watching on a repeat before every start.
Yeah,
sure.
But he's played much better. So the Braves do. I mean, their bullpen's always been solid. And I mean, I think they can continue to keep winning. The big concern for me is absolutely the offense, because they've just been so up and down. If we could just put 3-4 runs on a game, the Braves could go on a 10-game winning streak easy.
Nice. Well, I'm looking forward to it. I definitely want to see how the Braves.
We need to get together and watch some of this Braves and Dodgers series.
Oh, that'd be great. Yeah. Maybe we do a live stream. That'd be kind of fun.
Oh, that would be kind of fun, actually.
Let us know in the comments down below if you'd like to join us for a live stream where we live stream the game. We'll put it to you right there. We'll sit right here and get to hear us eat chips right through this microphone. It'd be fantastic, right?
And talk trash to each other.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what it's going to be a lot of.
Exactly.
I'm pretty sure Chris Sale's the first starting pitcher against the Dodgers. So
Oof. Front runner for the Cy Young.
Front runner right now.
Which means we're gonna blow him out in the second inning, and then Charlie Moore's gonna throw a perfect game against us. Look at how that works.
Excellent.
Yeah, that's basically how it's gonna work.
Yeah.
But yeah, anyway, so pivoting over to the Los Angeles Dodgers, we definitely want to talk about them. But we want to hear from you in the comments down below, folks.
We got a comment. Tammy Price, friend of the channel.
Tammy Price, friend of the channel, says do it. All right, that'd be fantastic. We definitely got to figure that out.
That would be fun.
Yeah, live stream the game,
Yeah, I think
they
play Friday, Sunday, Tuesday.
Friday, Sunday, and Tuesday.
I think so.
That's weird.
Oh no, it might be Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
Okay, that'd be weird for them to be not a day in between. Not unheard of.
Sorry, I'm thinking basketball where it's every other day. I think it is every day.
Not
Friday,
unheard
Saturday,
of.
Sunday. Yeah,
but it would definitely have been done before for sure. But yeah, we want to hear from you folks. Let us know in the comments down below. Are you a Mets fan? Are you a not
you better be a
Braves
Braves
fan.
fan.
You guys are out of it already. Which sucks because you guys have some good pitching.
The Braves?
The Giants.
Oh yeah, the Giants do have some good pitching.
Alice Cobb, you got Webb, and you got obviously the guy that we don't ever talk about. What's his name? Snell, Blake Snell, because obviously he does not get views. So
no, sorry, Blake Snell.
Yeah. We also have a comment here coming from Greg Hawkins saying Cubs fan with a smile, with a frowny face. Come on, man. Like you guys just took it to the Dodgers 2 games in a row.
Yeah.
2 games in a row.
And that center fielder was absolutely balling.
Yeah. You also had Cody Bellinger and what's the other guy? Guy who plays first base for him. Michael Bush, both former Dodgers that just went to town on the Dodgers, man. You guys have won 2 games out of 3. So congratulations on you guys there. Yeah. You're about 4.5 games out of the wild card position. You guys do have a shot, but probably not going to make it. But, it's good for the future for sure.
Yeah. PCA is amazing. He is. I'm very impressed.
Yeah. That was impressive. Yeah.
Some of those catches were just even just the mid-game catches, dude. He made a couple diving, how did he even get there? The dude is ridiculously fast.
Yeah. Still a hit from Mookie and also from, I believe, Miguel Rojas.
Yeah.
But yeah.
And then the big deal is obviously stealing the game-winning home run from Muncy.
Yeah. That's also a big thing for sure. For sure. Gotta love you, Muntz, for sure on that one. And then also that Yoshi versus Shota matchup was great, though. Yeah, that was really cool because you know how Shota Imanaga was my pick for the Cy Young this year.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, I think that's probably going to go to Paul Skeens at this point. Either that he's going to get Rookie of the Year.
Yeah, he'll get Rookie
potentially
of the Year.
But I definitely think that he was my front runner. And Yoshi, man, he held it, man. He did well. He did very, very well.
Yeah.
And it wasn't until we pulled him and put in the bullpen, and then they just simply decided not to play defense for the rest of the inning. That the
defense is overrated when you got good pitching.
Yeah, good pitching, and
but then when your bullpen comes in and the pitching's not as great, it's like, oh no.
Yeah, it's very interesting, very interesting. But yeah, love to have you on the show there, Greg. Appreciate it. We're definitely love to see how that game goes. I think they're playing today again. I think they have one more game. So I think they're playing right now, actually, or in the next 5 minutes. So we'll look forward to that one. But yeah, great fair. Thanks for jumping in on the comments there, Greg. Love to hear from you on that one. But yeah, did you watch the duo between Imanaga and
I watched a little bit of the game, but I didn't see. I actually wasn't paying as much attention to the pitching as I probably should have been.
Yeah, because what we talked about, what's more important in Major League Baseball right now than what they nearly need to focus is if you want to get people like you to watch a Detroit versus Pittsburgh game, is you need starting pitching to go longer.
Yeah.
If you want to start watching more baseball, starting pitching matchups are what you're going to be interested on. Because, yeah, Shohei Ohtani is great, right? And we'll talk about him in a minute. Shohei Ohtani is great, but he only bats once every, 2 or 3 innings?
Yeah.
And then he sits down.
Yeah.
So you don't really get to see him as much.
Okay.
Yeah, but the starting pitching, you'll stay glued to the TV
right,
for.
Absolutely.
So they definitely need to get back to that for sure. Say you're playing tonight in a few. Great show, good analysis. Go Utes.
Go Utes. Absolutely.
Appreciate it. Thank you for tuning in for the show. Appreciate it. But yeah, so when it comes to that, let's go ahead and pivot on over to Shohei Ohtani, shall we?
Yep.
All right. So Shohei Ohtani is on just an incredible tear this year.
Yes.
And let's all preface this with the fact that he just had elbow surgery not even 12 months ago.
I mean, it's a beautiful thing to watch.
Yep.
Because he's had such an amazing season and he just continues to keep setting records. And I mean, I was just reading an article about, they said how Shohei takes some of these records really personally. And he really consciously is making an effort to beat some of these because he likes it. He likes kind of setting goals for himself.
Oh yeah. I think one of my favorite stories about Shohei Ohtani is when he came into the season, he was in the bottom percentile of the team on vertical jump.
Oh, really?
He was third to last on the team on vertical jump.
He's like, watch this.
Right? Yeah. End of training. He was in the top 5 on the team.
Shohei's like, hold my beer.
Seriously, how freakishly talented is this guy?
Yeah.
Yeah. You're slacking on that, by the way. Your apple juice is kind of...
Don't judge me.
I'm so judging. I'm just saying. But anyway, when it comes to Shohei Ohtani, on the chase to 50-50, as he sits right now, and I'm glad the lights are still on for this one. For 50-50 chase, right now he's sitting at 46 home runs. And how many stolen bases?
47.
47 stolen bases so far. So he needs 4 more home runs and 3 more stolen bases to be the first player ever in Major League Baseball history to go 50-50.
In the same season.
Which,
there was an MLB player that had 50 home runs in one season and 50 stolen bases in the next season.
Yeah, well, that's not a thing. No one cares about that.
I think he was the only one to do it.
Really?
All right.
Interesting. Well,
it was actually pretty interesting when I read it. Or one of the first ones to do it.
I mean, if you really think about that, then that's great and all, but to do it in the same season,
absolutely.
I mean, technically, Shohei Ohtani, every time he steals a base and every time he hits a home run, he's sitting in a Major League Baseball record.
Yeah.
Because no one's done 43-43 in the history.
Yeah. No one's done 45-45. No one's done 46-47.
Yeah. And who was...
But 50-50 is that nice, even round number that he's got to get.
Yeah.
To be milestoned.
Yeah. 20 games left of the season.
Yeah.
I like his chances. But,
except for he's got 4 against the Braves. I mean, that's going to be his big issue.
That's going to be his issue?
Mm-hmm.
You just said you're going to walk him all 4 bats every single time. So he'll probably be...
I forgot he needs stolen bases, so that's probably not a great idea. But he will not get the home run number against us that way.
He
may get 7 stolen bases in 4 games, but he will not get any home runs.
He'll get stolen bases. So at that point, he'll probably be hitting 50-80 in stolen base category. Yeah. Just smashing Acuna's record.
Yeah.
So do you want to pitch for him or do you not want to pitch for him? Yeah, you definitely wanted to break Acuna's stolen bases in one season for sure. But anyway, I think it's really incredible what he's doing. 50-50 right now. Is what the chase is right now. He's at 46 and 47 when it comes to that, and plenty of baseball left. What's really impressive, he's doing this all while being a premier dog trainer.
Really?
I don't know if you heard about this.
No.
He has a dog named Decoy, right?
I've seen Decoy. Decoy's a badass.
Okay, so did you see him throw out the first pitch the other day?
I did. I wasn't super impressed, I'm going to be honest.
He trained his dog.
He didn't even throw at 60 feet.
No, he picked the ball and ran to Shohei Ohtani and dropped it.
A week.
Yeah. But he was able to train him to do that. Keep in mind, this is a dog in a big grass field with 10,000 people watching him. He trained his dog in 3 weeks to be able to leave the ball there on command, pick up the ball and bring it to him and then drop it.
I'm just saying,
right down the heart of the plate too, by the way.
I'm just saying, if the dog would have thrown it 60 feet, 6 inches, I'd have been much more impressed. A solid curveball. That's impressive.
Okay. We're not talking about Air Bud here. Okay. What we're talking about is a premier athlete.
We need Air Decoy.
Yeah, Air Decoy. That's a new Disney, if you're paying attention.
Yes.
Whoever did the Air Bud. I don't know if it's Disney or Nickelodeon. I don't know. Either way.
It doesn't matter.
It doesn't really matter. But I'm saying that guy's an elite dog trainer. He's able to train his dog to do that in 3 weeks when he's, on a home run tear, about to break records, currently breaking records. And
I guess it is a pretty good talent.
Yeah, the guy got married.
Yeah.
This year to a Japanese professional basketball player.
Is she taller than him?
I don't think so. I don't think she's taller.
Yeah.
He is like 6'3", 6'4".
Yeah, but I mean, she's a basketball player. She could be 6'6".
She could. But I also think it's really awesome.
I might Google that later.
Yeah, we'll check it out. Let us know in the comments down below. And then on top of that, way to keep us on track there, AJ.
Yeah.
And on top of that, he also just went through that whole gambling scandal where he practically lost his best friend, literally stole tens of millions of dollars from him. Doing all of this.
Isn't it funny how that seems so far in the rearview mirror right now?
I know, right? It's insane.
It feels like a year ago that we were talking about the gambling, and those videos did excellent, by the way. Thank you guys.
Yeah, those videos did great. Appreciate it. Thanks for watching those. If you missed them, we'll link them somewhere. So be sure to check them out. But yeah, that's so far in the rearview mirror right now.
Yeah.
But you thought about that. You thought we just signed this guy to a $700 million contract, and immediately he has controversy. This could derail his season at least. And now he's about to set Major League Baseball, and he's already making Major League Baseball history.
Yeah, every single time he swings a bat.
Absolutely insane.
Yeah.
I believe he's 1 home run away from tying the Dodgers record for most home runs in a season too. So really impressive.
Very impressive.
So we look forward to seeing it. Shohei Ohtani, bring it. We'd love to see you get to 50-50 so we could go ahead and do a video specifically on that. That would be absolutely awesome. Let's see here. We do have another player. We do have another comment. Sorry. He said he didn't take it to third. That's true. He didn't. Wait a minute. Michelle. What are we trying to say there? What are you trying to say there, Michelle? I think I know where you're going with that. He didn't take it to third. But yeah, he did take it. He did take it straight from the first. He did do right down the center of the plate, by the way. Right down the heart of the plate.
He still didn't throw it.
Still didn't throw it. Well, dude, he's a dog.
Doesn't matter.
He's a dog.
If you want me to compliment Shohei's ridiculous pitch or coaching abilities, I want to see him throw it.
Does it need to be a fastball? Does it have to break?
I mean, a curveball would be a little more impressive, but a fastball's fine.
A fastball's fine?
Yeah.
What about changeup?
It'll probably end up being a changeup, but maybe not on purpose. Yeah. Just weak ass dog arm. You know what I mean?
I think a dog could really throw a wicked knuckleballer.
Yeah. Yeah, no fingers.
You really think about it. There's no
absolutely
just rotation. It's just a paw that kind of throws the ball.
Yeah. And if he could get it 60 feet, that's impressive. You know?
I do think so. I think that'd be impressive. All right, folks. But I think we're talking about that. Breaking down dog pitching on the channel today.
Welcome to the DNA Sports Recap, where we only break down dogs and their potential pitching abilities.
That's true. Well, we do want to end this show by telling you folks, first of all, thank you all very much for doing what you guys did. You guys made this channel get to 1,000 subscribers. So we can't even start by saying, we're going to start by saying thank you very much for helping us hit 1,000 subscribers on this channel.
Yep.
And secondly, what we're going to do is we're going to give the first $500 that we earn in AdSense revenue back to our subscribers. So if you have not yet hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell, 5 subscribers are each going to earn $100 each. So once we make $500 in AdSense revenue, we're giving it back to y'all. So make sure you subscribe and make sure you hit that notification bell so you don't miss out on that giveaway.
Yep. And if you're watching on YouTube on one of our short videos, just know this is available, the whole episode as a podcast, audio only, wherever you get your audio.
With all that said, my name is Darren. That is AJ. And this has been an episode of the DNA Sports Recap.
Till next time.